Hi, my name is Dr. Ramadani. I'm one of the GPs at St Wulfstan Surgery in Southam. We've put together this video to try and help you better understand how to access healthcare locally and where you can go to find the best help when you need it. We've also created a dedicated web page just with this advice for you, and it's got all the links and telephone numbers that I'm going to mention, and you can access that page at stwulfstan.co.uk/young-people. So feel free to look at that anytime. So the first thing to note when you're looking to access healthcare services and NHS healthcare services, it's really important to register with a GP surgery. So you can register with us at St Wulfstan Surgery in Southam, and you can do it just by visiting our website. On the front page there's a Join Us button, and in the top right there's a Join Us button. You can just fill in your details and then register with the GP surgery, and that will happen pretty much straight away. Once you're registered, you'll then be able to book appointments, order prescriptions and access other NHS services. So it's a really important place to start. You can also visit the NHS website, and there'll be links to all the other GP surgeries that you can register with. So that's the first thing that's really important. The next thing is think about downloading and using the NHS app. It's a really handy app, really easy to use. You can set it up straight away. But within the NHS app, you'll be able to book your GP appointments, book other types of appointments at the surgery. You can order repeat medications through the app. You can even view parts of your medical record through the app. If you've seen a GP, you'll be able to read the outcomes of the appointment in the app. And there's also the option to contact the surgery through the NHS app by using an online consultation. And that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so it never shuts. You can always use those online services. If you don't want to use the app, that's absolutely fine. You can always call us at the surgery when you need to, and we'll always be happy to help over the phone. A little tip: when you do register with a GP surgery, it's always good, if you can, to try and see the same GP each time. It's really important to build that relationship, and the better the GP understands you, the better you understand the GP. Sometimes that can really help in terms of giving you really good continuity of care. So if you have got ongoing problems, it's always a good idea, if you want to and if you can, to follow up with the same GP to see you through that journey. So there are other places that you can go and access care other than the GP surgery. So for example, pharmacists and your local pharmacy can be really, really helpful. They're open a lot of the time, really accessible, and they can be really helpful for particular things like hay fever, sore throat symptoms, coughs, colds, skin problems, and other minor infections. So it's always worth thinking about seeing the pharmacist first, and they'll often have the widest array of different treatments that they can give you there and then from within the pharmacy. You can always access the NHS website, and on the website there's lots of pages and lots of information about symptoms, conditions and treatment, so feel free to have a look at that as well. But of course, if you need a GP, always feel free to book an appointment with the GP. Now, mental health is massively important. We're all going to struggle with mental health at some stage in our lives, whether that be anxiety, low mood. It's going to affect us all. So it's really important to know where to go if you do start to develop some of those symptoms. So for us, it's absolutely fine to get in touch with the surgery, but it's also important to think about the other services that we've got available. So locally, we've got something called Talking Therapies, and Talking Therapies offers lots of therapy services, counselling and other things, and you can access them directly without having to see the GP first. On the webpage that I've said, we'll put a link to the Talking Therapies website, so you can feel free to click that and refer yourself to their services, and they can be absolutely brilliant, and you won't need a GP appointment to access that. Also on our website, we'll put a few other things, a few other mental health support services that we've got, which you can access online or through an app. That will save you having to speak to somebody if you prefer to access care that way. So yeah, feel free to look at our website with all of that information. It's really important to know that if you are in a crisis, you can contact 111, and through 111 there is a mental health crisis support service. So you can go through 111 and you'll be able to speak to someone very quickly if you feel like you are in a crisis. So always remember you've got that. And if it's very, very serious, 999 is still a possibility. So just bear in mind those numbers. One thing that we hear a bit about is confidentiality and people being worried about the confidentiality when they come and see a GP. So it's really important to reiterate that confidentiality is really important to us all. If you're age 16 or over, your appointment is going to be confidential. Information is only ever shared if there's a serious concern or a serious risk to yourself or others. So yeah, really important to know that confidentiality is really protected by the people you see. Another important area is sexual health. So if you're worried about your personal sexual health, or you think you might need an STI check, a sexually transmitted infection check, you can contact the Sexual Health Hub directly. So the Sexual Health Hub, you can contact them on their telephone number, which is 0300 247 0069. We'll put that number on our website, and they do have a website of their own, and we'll put the link to them as well. You don't need to see a GP first, and you can access those services directly, and they've got lots of clinics and support available, so feel free to go to them directly with concerns. Contraception is, of course, really important. So at St Wulfstan Surgery, we have the full range of contraceptive support services and all the different types of contraception that you would want. So we do have the full spectrum of those. If you're looking for contraception, feel free to give our receptionists a call at the surgery and just let them know that that's what you wanted to do. And they'll always put you in touch with the right GP at the surgery or the right member of staff. So feel free, book in, and we'll be more than happy to help you with contraception. Alcohol and drug support is something that's really important. So if you or someone you know is struggling with alcohol use or drug use and it's becoming problematic, looking to stop or cut down use, or you're finding it's really affecting life, there is an organisation called Change, Grow, Live. You can contact them directly. They have a clinic in Leamington, I believe, and then phone number, and you can contact them directly. Their number's 01926 353 513. Again, that number will be on our website. You don't need to see a GP. You can just contact them directly for their support services. If you did want to see a GP, though, of course, you're more than welcome to do that. It's also important to remember that if you're in a medical crisis and you need urgent help, in immediate danger or very unwell, you can contact 999 or attend A&E. If something isn't urgent, as in needing 999, but you need some medical advice or medical help or have some symptoms, then you can access 111, and 111's available 24/7, so particularly useful if the surgery is closed. So if that's in the evening or the weekend, you're more than welcome to access 111. So hopefully that was useful and helpful. And of course, I just want to reiterate the message that we're always here to help. So if you do need our help, feel free to book an appointment at the surgery. All our contact details are on our website. But you can also see all the information that I've talked about today on our website at stwulfstan.co.uk/young-people. If you're unsure where to start, if any of this is confusing, if you need some help, again, don't hesitate to call us at the surgery. We're always here to help. Thanks for listening.